Hey everyone, Bassman Strikes here. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to compare the mic adapters for the Osmo Action 4 and the Insta360 Ace Pro. Physically, they both share a similar design where they replace the door on the USB area of the particular camera. So now the big advantage of the Osmo is the SD card slot is not with the USB connector. It's actually with the battery. So that means with this one, you can plug it in and you can leave it on there, right? Because this USB connector here acts as a pass-through. So you can charge this and you can run it without the battery. And you can do the same thing with the Ace Pro. So if we look at the Ace Pro, you can see it shares a similar design. Replaces the door. And again, that's power pass-through. So you can charge this. You can run it without the battery as well, which is very handy for both of these. If you're in a hot environment, you can remove the battery and just run it strictly off of external power. And that works for both of these. And again, this one has the SD card slot with the USB-C connector, so that means anytime you want to get access to the SD card, you have to pull this off. It's not a huge deal. The Osmo Action 4 actually had a similar design in its first generation, and you had to pull it off every time to pull the SD card. And so, I mean, it wasn't a huge deal. I used the Osmo Generation 1 for like 2 years with an external mic, so it's not a huge deal, but you know, that's a little more thoughtful design if you ask me. So anyway, let's take a look at this one first. They both work almost identical except for the shape and the form factor, right? So you just plug it in. They both have 2 clicks. It'll click at the top and at the bottom. And there's your port for the 3.5 and your USB-C. So then if we take a look at the Osmo, works exactly the same. Clicks on the top and the bottom. But for some reason, the Osmo Action one just it looks way bulkier. And I think it has to do with the shape. This one has more of a L-shaped cutout here. So it just doesn't look as bulky as this. This thing looks like this huge thing sticking out the side of this tiny camera. And that comes into play when you're using a small mic with a dead cat. So if we plug it in here, you know, put it on there how it's supposed to be. That doesn't look like it's totally out of place here. It's not sticking out a massive amount. And the dead cat kind of covers, you know, the area that's sticking out versus the cutout area. It just gives it a smaller profile. All right, so let's look at the Osmo Action. Run this in a similar configuration. I don't know, which one do you think looks less bulky? It's definitely not this one. Now, you can run like a coiled cable and run this somewhere else, like on a cold shoe, or you know, you could have a little clamp on a hat or whatever, right? And so you could run it away from there. But the thing is still bulky. Look at it. I just don't like it. And they arrange the ports weird, right? So they put this closer to the front. So if you're going to run something like this, that puts your dead cat in the frame sometimes, depending on what field of view you have it set for. If they had moved this over to here and put the USB-C in an arrangement like this one, you wouldn't have that problem. You know, overall, physically, I guess it's an okay design, but the big deal breaker with this adapter is its recording volume. It is super low. Like with a regular mic, right? This one's pretty hot, but if I use other mics, I can't even get this high enough in post by raising it 30 dB. It's just ridiculous. With this one, I can raise the gain in the camera to about 10 to 12 and get some decent audio. I still have to raise it a little bit in post, but because this mic is hotter, it's not that bad. But this adapter, for general use, I don't recommend it. You're better off using a USB splitter and one of the other USB adapters. This one is just terrible. Probably great for moto vlogging and maybe recording rock concerts or whatever. But this one is terrible. This one, on the other hand, is great. If you set it at between 0 and, I don't know, -3 gain in camera with this hotter mic, it sounds great. So Insta360, whoever you worked with at Cynova to design this, good job. DJI, you should market this as moto vlogging only because it's terrible for anything else. And release another adapter that's more like this one. All right, other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments, which one would you rather have? My vote goes for this one. All right, Bassman out.